Hey everybody. Hey guys. Hey Peachy. How are you? I didn't I didn't think that there would be anything when I logged off a while ago, and it looks like there is going JB's going to be going live in like 5 minutes with an update. So I thought it has been a day, Peachy. It's definitely been a day. So I thought that I would just come back on and I forgot to tell Mo. Hey Breezy. I didn't think there was going to be anything breezy, but it looks like JB's going live in 5 minutes um, with updates. Oh, hey. Oh, there you go, Mo. JB's going live. Oh, I do too. I do too, Peachy. I about had it with this guy. I have just about had it. And I'm wondering why JB has put off his stream all day because y'all know he usually goes around 12:30 Eastern time. And it's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. But I want to tell y'all some stuff I found out, okay? While we're waiting. He Brian Laundrie and his mom went into an AT&T store in Northport, Florida on or around September the 14th and bought a burner phone. But, well, surveillance video okay. The police, the FBI agents have been to this AT&T store and seized the surveillance video. Let me rephrase about September the 14th date. I'm not sure. It's allegedly that they went to that store on the 14th. Okay, that's not been confirmed, but it has been confirmed that the police went and seized surveillance video from there. Yeah. But the lawyer, the uh, the real estate lawyer that they have hired, will have everyone to believe that that's the cell phone that the FBI has already has in their possession. Yeah, right. Nice try, attorney, real estate attorney. Stay with your real estate practice. Why would they go buy a cell phone on or around September the 14th? They report him missing on the 17th. They say that he went for a quote unquote hike on the 14th or a walk or whatever he did. But they want you to believe that that's the same phone that the FBI has in their possession. I call BS too. I call BS big time. I'm just refreshing my screen, looking to see if JB has started yet because I don't want to miss, and I don't want you guys to miss his live. Hey, JB, where you at, buddy? This guy has had enough time spent on him. This guy has had enough. He's gotten enough attention. It's time for his butt to be caught and for him to pay the price for whatever he did to Gabby. Enough of this. Coddling him and, oh, he wouldn't do this and, oh, he wouldn't do that. BS, BS, BS. I'm still refreshing my screen, guys, waiting on JB's live stream to start, okay? As soon as it starts, we're going there. Disgusting person. I swear he's disgusting. He needs to be found and quick. Mo, I kind of heard something about that too, but I can't remember. There's been so much information, guys. I apologize. I can't remember if they said that they had their phones, that they have the Landry's phones or not. They claimed that Brian's phone was found in the Mustang. And then there's speculation if the Mustang belongs to the mom or if it is actually Brian's or who the Mustang belongs to. But guys, I am searching for this. Come on, JB. Show us where you're at, buddy. Hey Mo, if you don't mind, will you also be searching just to make sure that I'm not overlooking where JB's live at? It says it'd be on WFLA, and that's where I'm at. Okay, Peachy, that yeah. Mm. And that don't make any sense to me. Why would you not have their phones? Their son is missing. They're missing now, hiding, missing, whatever they choose to call it today. Girlfriend, fiance is dead, and they're just living the peachy life. And oh, it just kills me. Sorry, guys, it just gets me, burns me up. Okay, JB, where are you at now, buddy? See, JB tweeted out earlier in the day, sorry for the delay in the live stream, but it's for a good reason. So, what's the good reason, JB? Come on, tell us. Please say that y'all have found this man. Still on standby? Okay, Mo. All right. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't causing anyone to miss it by overlooking it or anything. So, guys, honestly, where do you think he's at? That's right, Peachy. We are invested. Charlene, you haven't missed anything yet. We are waiting on JB from WFLA to give us a live stream update. He usually does them around 12:30, and today's had been pushed back several times. And he did a Twitter announcement that said that he was sorry for the delay earlier, about 3 hours or so ago, but it was for a good reason. And now we're trying to figure out what the good reason is. So, JB, you need to be telling us, buddy. Okay, starting now. Let me see I can get to it. Now I'm buffering like crazy. Come on. Are you serious? Mo, I don't see it. Where's it at now? I'm on WFLA. Guys, I'm trying my best to find it. WFLA News. Where I usually go to get it. Okay. Just a second, guys. Mo's telling me where it's at. Thank you, Mo. Thank you so much. WFLA News.
The 6th through the 8th that they checked in with their reservation. So now we're seeing some movement on the fact the FBI is interested on the video aspect of putting them there at the time. So it adds to the timeline of this whole thing. Yep. And what I find interesting, we couldn't determine yesterday or the day before if the FBI
Guys, I'm trying hard to get to it. I'm so sorry. Okay, I found it. I'm about to pull it up, guys.
Our live stream. Just don't use the hashtag and let your comment continue scrolling on by. And of course, let's keep the train on the tracks with the comments here, folks. We know that it's very easy for folks to just be tweeting out baseless conspiracy theories. We're here to keep the train on the tracks. I'll touch on what Brian Enton shared out a short time ago, and it comes from the Laundrie family attorney,
Josh Stephen Bertolino. That's a name we've been talking quite a bit about. And he says, to my knowledge, they did purchase a new phone, and it's the same phone that Brian left home and which the FBI is now in possession of. So we've been hearing all of this talk about a new phone that was purchased. Right. And now Stephen Bertolino, the Laundrie attorney, saying that there was a new phone that was purchased. And of course, we'll try to pinpoint more as to when that phone was purchased, where that fits into the timeline, but that the FBI now has that phone, which I think is an interesting inclusion there in his statement. So that's the latest that we have from Brian Enton of News Nation.
Another angle, too, obviously, Dog the Bounty Hunter, somebody who is very close to this case and on the trail, so to speak, for this case. That was big news a few days ago that brought the Fort Soto picture into a clearer lens and led a lot of people out there to either see their searches out there or now that they're trying to track down that they camped out there, in fact. So earlier today, I sent out a tweet about the reports I was getting about action in Fort Soto, and this was coming from inside of Dog's team. And they are out there on a search, as I know from what they're telling me. At the time of the tweet, reports of law enforcement on scene, it can confirm there's a law enforcement officer out there that has talked to the team. Matter of fact, I got sent the business card of the person who was out there. I won't get into what agency or what and matter of fact, I don't know what the relation is to why they would be out there, but just stating that there was a law enforcement officer on scene and helicopter in the air. Now, at the time, we had News Channel 8's helicopter, Eagle 8 HD, up over the scene.
That's what you're looking at now?
Prior to, and then soon after, I was getting the reports of what was happening in the park. So that could have been misconstrued as our own shopper, and I don't know because this was also from Dog's team and an eyewitness on the ground seeing a helicopter in the air. So that breaks down the tweet a little bit. I know a lot of people were saying there's a major search effort going on, and that's not the case. There's no law enforcement-led search effort happening in the park right now, but there is an independent investigation going on. And that's the reports from the sources I'm getting.
So yeah, let's break down the independent investigation aspect of what I referenced at the top of this stream, Josh. So Dog the Bounty Hunter bringing on really an all-star team here of local retired and former FBI, federal, and investigators and folks that have been in the business, folks that have participated.
Two specifically, as far as I know, the sources I'm getting are two members of the team brought in locally to help assist in what they're searching for.
Right.
And again, I don't know exactly the specific
their resume
details as to,
right.
Well, I have the names and the backgrounds. I believe one is a former federal agent, another Homeland Security, I believe, but I will verify that for you. But as part of the team to bring in someone local who knows the area, they put a team together to get a boat and try to get access to, obviously, a place that they're very interested in. So from my source within the team, that's what's happening there. Nothing discovered as far as I know at this point. And our chopper was up there earlier today on several occasions looking over the fort campground and nothing observed. But again, this isn't an all-out huge law enforcement led search. There's not a lot to see. There could be one boat with this team going from island to island to island to try to figure out what they have, because they're getting a lot of intel and they're getting a lot of tips, as you would imagine. On that same token, and just stepping away from this scene, I think today is kind of the day of the lookalikes. I don't know if you've been watching the streams, but it's just unbelievable how many lookalikes are now popping up, and it's really getting wild in that he was spotted in Idaho, he was spotted in Pennsylvania. I mean, we're going to get overly exhausted with the amount of lookalikes that are going to come in. And again, you just got to back off from those to say, let's think about it and let the authorities figure out if that's truly somebody that resembles him or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential lookalikes out there. So let's get to some of the questions that are coming in here. Josh, you have probably 10 minutes before you have to get downstairs for the...
Yeah, nine if we're going to talk news speak.
Okay, let's take some questions here. Use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJosh, and we can animate your comment here on screen. Trisha Brennan, hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJosh. Can we confirm where Dog is right now? Where is he tweeting about?
The exact location I don't have, but it's in the vicinity of DeSoto, Fort DeSoto.
That's where you're looking at here on your screen here, folks. Nicole LaRocca, hashtag HeyJB. Has it been determined that 3 went in and only 2 left the campgrounds? And we know from Stephen Bertolino, the family attorney, that the family went in on the 6th, came back out on the 7th, and it was 3 in, 3 out. Mm-hmm. And you know what's really interesting now, and as you see here on your screen, that the FBI has the surveillance video now turned over by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Right. As far as turning in that surveillance video, is there anything in that surveillance video that indicates that it wasn't 3 in, 3 out? So this is now, I don't think that's video that we're going to see anytime soon here, folks, because it came from the Fort DeSoto campground, passed along to the county law enforcement, then passed along to federal law enforcement there.
And I know there's a lot of effort to try to get, you got to go through a toll booth to get into that area, I believe. I think Paul Lamison told me that. He's very familiar with that area. There would be video of cars going in through the toll booth. There'd be highway cameras, that sort of thing. But you'd obviously have to try to get access to that. I know people have been working on that as well.
We're going to have Justin Shecker, I believe, join us here shortly as well here, folks, and provide some information here as well. Let's take some more questions and comments here. Leslie Lucas, hashtag HeyJB, hearing the sheriff chopper is now in the air, and that's something, that there's some resources that we can pull up online. But Josh, do you have any information about
Not that I've heard, no.
And we can check. Okay, so there is a... I
know a lot of people are watching the flight patterns of what's flying and who's flying. Matter of fact, I even thought that Eagle 8 HD was showing up as a plane icon.
On whoa, hold on.
I had heard that. I have to check with Paul, though, to confirm if that's
Look
really the
at
case.
this. I'm seeing it, Jim. Yeah, check that out. So flight radar. According to flight radar, the tag number associated with that aircraft, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, now has a helicopter above Fort DeSoto.
Okay.
This is brand new. They got here 90 seconds ago. So big shout out to Leslie Lucas, and she has a Gabby Petito, a beautiful Gabby Petito profile picture there in memory of Gabby. Big shout out to Leslie, because when I went on stream here and I check, there was no air traffic over Fort DeSoto. It just got there. I mean, it just crossed I-275. So arriving on scene, we can say this for certain, arriving on scene, a Pinellas, now here's the thing. Could there have been an additional call that came in? Is there a reason otherwise that there
could be anything?
Could be anything.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting that as of right now, 3:43 Eastern, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office has a chopper flying, and I see the flight pattern now. They're making the rounds around Fort DeSoto campground here, exactly where Eagle 8 HD was a short time ago. So an interesting development here, Josh.
Yep. I did not see that earlier, so that
No, I don't think anybody did because the chopper's been in the air for about 7 minutes. So this is an interesting development here. We'll keep you posted if we hear anything about Fort DeSoto and about Pinellas County Sheriff's Office flying overhead there. Hashtag HeyJB from Deb Peterson. How come Dog the Bounty Hunter discovered the Fort DeSoto info, but the FBI didn't? And let's make this perfectly clear.
Yeah.
There is no indication whatsoever that the FBI didn't have this information. The FBI wouldn't tell us if they had this information. It's of course sensitive information to the investigation that is currently ongoing. And so, Josh,
but on that same token, they just received the surveillance video from the park, correct, within the last day.
That's recent.
So if they, that begs the question, why didn't they have that video a week ago or 2 weeks ago if they were to know about it? I don't know.
I'll read from Nico here one more time for those of you just joining us here in the last several minutes that the video from the campground between September 6th and September 8th was sent to them. Was sent to the FBI yesterday, Tuesday, September 28th, about 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So why the delay? Is it because that's without getting too much into it, why could there have been a delay in the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office sending over that surveillance video to the FBI? Was it just because they were just alerted to this recently, or was it because the FBI didn't consider it important information at the time or important video or evidence at the time? These are the questions now that are going to be asked repeatedly here, Josh.
Well, keep in mind my contact with Dog's team when they sent out the information to me saying that on 2 different occasions the Laundrie went there. And this was according to a source that they had, a tipster that brought them there in the first place. They said that they were there on 2 separate occasions. They were spotted there. And as we peel apart the onion, so to speak, and get the firm facts on that, there were 2 different times that were mentioned, but only record for one. Now, I believe the attorney said that a reservation was made and then canceled for the first set of dates, and that would put them there the second set of dates, the 6th through the 7th. The attorney says the 6th through the 7th. So, so some of that information that the Dogs team got early on was factual, even though it came from a tipster, and obviously we had to look into it. So that puts a lot more information and interest into the Fort DeSoto campground.
Reading through some more of your questions, Deb. Thanks a whole lot. We'll put your question and comment away. And
can I make another point?
Yeah, absolutely. All yours.
This cell phone too. The cell phone was something that we spotted several days ago about a phone being purchased on a specific date, and now that's starting to come out. Now, if this is something the FBI knew and already paid a visit to the store and got some video, surveillance video of that incident or that situation, then there's again it could be that the FBI already has all this stuff, and then it just starts to percolate through social media and through everybody else's sources to finally get up to the surface for the public to learn.
Josh Benson, folks, you're going to see him, everybody, here on WFLA News Channel 8 here really in about 13 minutes from now. Josh, we're going to continue taking hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJosh comments and questions here, and maybe I can sneak in one last one for Josh.
Sure.
Before we say farewell to Josh here, and I'm just reading through them here. Everybody, bear with me. This is just Peter Wacklin, hashtag WFLA now, hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJosh. Is Dog the Bounty Hunter taking the lead on the search?
No.
Or is the FBI still in charge?
Keep in mind, Dog the Bounty Hunter is an independent investigation. They do their own thing. They have no relation to law enforcement whatsoever.
And I'm sure that there's conversations if they're on location there together, and I'm sure that there's Dog the Bounty Hunter works with local law enforcement and with law enforcement in general. So not to say that they don't communicate, but to say that he's taking the lead on the search.
Yeah, not true.
No, not anywhere close to true.
The FBI has a very good reputation in managing searches. Obviously, the highest agency out there to do it. So, not the case. but it doesn't mean we're not getting information from their team. You know, we take it and we look into it and we want to report it. We want to confirm it, just like we did with the reservations to the park yesterday. So that's information that comes in. We try to distill it down and prove it factual.
Josh, before we let you go,
Sure.
we have team coverage on the way here in our 4 o'clock newscast here. Big thanks to Peter for your comment here. But before we let you go, Josh,
Yep.
What's coming up here at 4 o'clock, and what are you going to be monitoring on social media and here in the area in the hours ahead?
Well, I think the challenging part now is there are fewer updates. I had heard earlier the authorities are back out at the Carlton Reserve and continuing their search out there. But as you saw in the last day or two, there's really been no searching really going on. And that's frustrating for a lot of viewers to watch. You guys want to talk about updates and you want to know what's going on. You want endless, you know, action, so to speak. And that just doesn't happen in a case like this. We just have to take breaks. And that's why I think now that we're going to start seeing lookalikes and stories, you know, Dogs team reporting, they're getting a lot of tips about the Appalachian Trail out in Pennsylvania. Those are things that are coming in that I'm learning about from my source. And it's just, that's going to help trigger more lookalike spottings and sightings. And that can complicate it because obviously we can't go through and verify each one of those sightings. People are going to go online in their own detective work to try to say, yeah, that was him. We spotted him. But you just got to, you got to not go down that road. And obviously until we have some firm understanding of any of the legitimacy of these sightings from law enforcement, that will be the end-all be-all when it comes to this case.
Folks, you can catch them on WFLA News Channel 8 at 4 o'clock. That's your NBC station here in the Tampa Bay area where we are here in Florida. That's your, again, 8 on your side team, ready to provide you with team coverage here, Josh.
And whatever I have on the case, I go to Twitter with it. So twitter.com/WFLA Josh. I put everything I have right there for you.
All right, Josh Benson, everybody. Thanks a lot, folks.
Take
All right, so let's get to we're going to bring in 8 on your sides, Justin Schecker here in about 10 or so seconds. Let's bring in Justin now. Got to hit a couple of buttons here and make sure that we're all good to go. And there, just like that, folks, we've got sitting down now, 8 on your sides, Justin Schecker. Justin, I'm going to get you right up there on that microphone there, sir. And welcome. Welcome to WFLA Now. And Justin, what are you monitoring right now?
You know, I was out at Fort Soto last night. A lot of the attention the last day has been focused on this visit from the Laundrie family, which we confirmed through their attorney, Stephen Bertolino, as well as the public records request we had yesterday as breaking news, JB, showing that the Roberta Laundrie had that reservation from the 6th, which was Monday, Labor Day, through the 8th, that Wednesday. Their attorney came back and told us the family was there and they left, you know, the 3 of them on the 7th, which would have been that Tuesday. And then again, we saw the breaking news. I know you're talking with Josh that the the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office has confirmed to 8 on your side. They turned over surveillance video related to this Laundrie family visit to the FBI as part of their investigation. So a fast moving situation, JB. I was out there yesterday on the ground, Fort DeSoto. You know, there were campers there who saw there were a few media crews there, and they were all, you know, interested. What were we doing there? And people were, you know, couldn't believe we were there because of this story that were kind of piecing in this timeline. What happened with the Laundrie family after Gabby disappeared, and that was this visit we have confirmed to this a beautiful park there in southern Pinellas County.
Let's get to this comment that just came in. We got a lot of comments in the queue, but this one is very timely. So from Jennifer Souza, #AJB. Any more reports about the helicopter that just arrived? All right, I'm going to bring up our map here, and oh, very interesting. So Justin, we were just talking about how right as we began our stream, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper was taking off from, and I want to make sure I have this right, from St. Pete Clearwater International Airport there in Pinellas County, and started making this big loop, crossing I-275, crossing over the entryway to Tampa Bay, and did go around Fort DeSoto. But interesting of note here, it has continued north. And okay, so now turning around. This is interesting to watch. So the Pinellas County chopper kind of did a big J loop around Fort DeSoto Park, where you're looking at here, everybody, in the center of your screen. And now they've gone up north past St. Pete Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Have you ever been to St. Pete Beach? It's just absolutely magnificent.
Pretty up there too, JB.
Yeah, Fort DeSoto is beautiful. Treasure Island. But right now, speaking of Treasure Island, and between Treasure Island and Madeira Beach, that's where the chopper is kind of circling around. So what this could be is the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper doing routine surveillance or a routine flight, or they've responded to they're responding to a couple of different calls from the air. There's no indication at this time that the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper being in the air is connected to Brian Laundrie. But it's interesting to note that their first stop was Fort DeSoto campground.
So one thing, when I talked to some of the campers out there yesterday, they said it would have been Monday night. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, would have been Monday night that they had heard a helicopter fly over, which confirmed what we saw about the flight records, JB, showing that the chopper had flown over then. And again, obviously, the big news today that the sheriff's office has turned over that surveillance video. I mentioned yesterday there's also a toll booth going into the parks. I wonder if there's any records there with the license plate and whatnot. And I did speak to one gentleman who is at a campsite a few spots down from the Laundries. He told me he has no recollection of seeing Brian or his parents, but he believes he saw their maroon truck with the camper attached to the back as he was leaving with his wife on the morning of September 7th, JB. So that fits in this timeline confirmed by the attorney. At least one other camper did not see the family, so to speak, but he believes he remembers seeing their red maroon van with that white camper attached to the back of it.
Let's a lot of commenters here asking, what is the update? What is the update? Well, it's on the bottom of your screen. Two significant, well, really three, we could say significant pieces of information. Stephen Bertolino, the attorney for Brian Laundrie, confirming that there was a new phone. Burner phone might as well have been trending on Twitter because so many people were asking about a potential burner phone, whether or not there was a burner phone purchased by the Laundrie family. And he didn't. Now, Stephen Bertolino didn't use the actual term burner phone, but did confirm to News Nation's Brian Enton that a new phone was purchased, but that Brian left it, and that it's now in the possession of the FBI. The other piece of information that we learned is that the Fort DeSoto surveillance video, that there's video that is of note here, of note enough that it was given from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office to the FBI, and that occurring yesterday, 3 weeks after the visit here to Fort DeSoto. That in and of itself is interesting. We could break that down over the next half hour to an hour. And then, of course, we know now that there is feet on the ground, boots on the ground, as far as this independent investigation. Dog the Bounty Hunter and a couple of others here, members of law enforcement or former members of law enforcement. It's really former members of law enforcement that are on the ground here, and they are searching the area. And I want to make this clear. Fort DeSoto isn't just this strip that you see here.
It's massive. I mean, I must have walked close to a mile or two yesterday, JB, just along the beach side. That is kind of the inner, I guess I'm going to call it the channel side with the waterfront beach camp areas where the campground areas where the Laundries had the reservation. It's like a long kind of U shape. You go down, JB, comes around, and it's like must be 2-3 miles of just beautiful sandy beaches. And there's obviously some of the smaller islands off of that. But you're looking at this area here is the waterfront campground area where the Laundries had that reservation. And again, their attorney tells us they were there at least for that one night, JB, from the 6th to the 7th, while the public record said they had the reservation for the 2 nights, Labor Day Monday through that Wednesday. And again, fitting in this timeline, JB, that is, again, just later that week, that Saturday night, this whole investigation got going when Nicole Schmidt contacted police on Long Island that the Laundrie family had this camping trip days before this whole story became a national obsession.
And I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. Camping after a cross-country or near cross-country road trip where you've been on the road for 2 months, coming home and going camping after your fiance is no longer with you, was with you for every day of that road trip, and then all of a sudden wasn't. Listen, it strikes me as peculiar, very strange.
So a lot of people does. The one thing some of the campers were telling me who are regulars there, this was Labor Day Monday. This family didn't get this reservation after he got home the first. They may have had, we keep that in mind. Again, the question is, people want to was, what did they know? What do they know? And when did they know it? And if they went this Labor Day, this camping trip, again, it raises eyebrows to think, they're out there camping while you have the Petito and Schmidt families, Reality's sinking
freaking out
in.
about
Where's our
daughter? And you're camping. Let's make s'mores. Hey, you got the Hershey's chocolate and the graham crackers. Like
yeah.
It's just.
And again, we should remind this point again. The parents have not been charged. They have not been named. Now we've brought up the peculiarity that they have not done any public appeals to help find their son. They say is missing. We know the Gabby's family says he's out in hiding somewhere, consistent with some of the dog reports. But again, the parents not been charged. But I've reported here the first time they really spoke to Northport police was that Friday night when they said, "Hey, we don't know where our son is," and there was this period of silence there after the 11th till the following Friday, where Northport wanted to talk to them and they remained silent. And you saw that quote yesterday, JB, from the Petito Schmidt attorney. They didn't help us find Gabby. They're sure is not going to help us find Brian. That was, to me, was probably one of the most important quotes from the news conference yesterday.
And again, the attorney Stephen Bertolino confirming that there was a camping trip.
Yes.
Like this isn't now like some figments of our imagination.
We have the public record and their attorney saying, "Hey, look, they were there in this critical 10-day window from when Brian returned and when the family reported their daughter missing," and it's trying to piece together what happened in that time frame.
And again, 3 in, 3 out. Now the family, again, confirmed by Stephen Bertolino, the attorney, the whole family was there. So so Chris and Roberta were there. Brian was there. They went there for the 6th and the 7th, and then they were gone.
Quote, they all left. That was his exact
That's what he
wording
said.
in the one
That's
line
what he
he
said.
wrote down.
And listen, he could be passing along that information from on behalf of the family, of course, that has brought him on. But we will find out more, hopefully, as to whether or not Brian was there and did in fact leave on the 7th. Justin, I know we had to get you going here by 4 o'clock here.
I got a few more minutes.
Okay.
Wait on a call back, JB. We can track these developments. And I know our colleague Nico Clemens is also headed that way. He's working some angles today. So
yeah, let me just say this. Let me just say this. And I'm just going to speak for me. This is what I do on stream. Sometimes I'm just going to speak for me. If I went on a cross-country road trip, good luck getting me out of the house after I get back, right? I'm in my house, turning on Netflix, with my wife, my 2 cats, and we are hanging. I am enjoying my own bed. I am enjoying my own couch, and I'm not an outdoorsman. Now, Brian Laundrie again said to have been someone that really loved being outdoors. Maybe it was normal for him to go on this van life road trip across the country and then return home and then go camping a few days later. Maybe that was normal for him. I can say that for me, and I think a lot of our commenters, that if you went on a cross-country road trip, you're loving, you're just digging your house. You're loving being at home. But also too, this is all under the assumption that I didn't lose my fiance on the road, that something didn't happen to because now again, under that scenario now, if I went on a cross-country road trip, van life, with my fiance, and I just got home, and she wasn't with me, and something terrible happened that potentially threatens the future, our future marriage, I'm distraught. I am inconsolable, and I'm just locked into just the confines of my own home. I'm speaking for me there, but we don't know what happened on the road between Brian and Gabby. We don't know the circumstances of his return, and we certainly don't know what motivated him to go camping with his family. Maybe just maybe the Brian got home and Chris and Roberta said, "Oh my God, our son is so upset. We need to do something to make him happy. Let's get him back outside. He needs to get outside. Let's take him on this camping trip. Let's go to Fort DeSoto. It's one of our favorite places. Let's go and just get him in a place that he loves. Maybe that'll cheer him up." This is all plausible here, within the realm of possible, as we call it here. So
look, the $1 million question, which we don't have the answers to. What did he tell his parents when he came back with the van on September 1st? What was that first conversation like? What was his explanation to his parents as to why he is home with the van and Gabby is not with him? We don't know, JB. That is the $1 million question. What did the parents know? What were they told, and when? Right?
We have to remind our audience here, because there are people that are just so upset at the Laundrie parents here, and you at this stage of where we are in this story, you know, you have a feeling as to what happened, and I've talked to people in my own personal life to say, "Oh, this is what happened. This is what I think happened," right? And people are forming their own theories, but there's the of course the scenario where Brian returns home, says something terrible happened, but that the Laundrie parents, that Chris and Roberta Laundrie, just don't have as much information, don't have specifics on what happened to Gabby or where Brian is now, because Brian kept them in the dark. That is within the realm of possible here, Justin.
And
so
we don't know what attempts at communication were made during that week, if any, from Gabby's family to the Laundrie parents.
Right.
That's the thing. Look, there are a lot of things we don't know. We're going to follow the facts here. But again, we've talked a lot about that timeline between the Moab, Utah incident to August 27th. Now it's this period of the 1st to the 11th is falling under a lot of scrutiny as people try to figure out where exactly did Brian and his family go in those days leading up to the missing person report being filed. And then again, we've talked a lot about the trip to the Carlton Reserve, which has prompted those massive searches, which still going on, targeted searches, JB, haven't really turned up anything there yet as we continue to look at the waterfront campground there in Fort DeSoto in southern Pinellas County. I believe it's about a 75-mile drive north of Northport, where the family is, JB. But as you know, one of the most popular campsites, here in our greater Tampa Bay area.
Okay, so let's just follow up with our viewers about the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office chopper that is in the air right now, continuing north of Clearwater now. So, I mean, way on the other side of Pinellas County. So this, from what we're seeing, the trajectory of the flight, everything right now looks like this was just a routine flight by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Now, you could note that that it started at Fort DeSoto, but that could just be a routine flight pattern. And so there's nothing to say right now that chopper is in the air specifically connected to the search for Brian Laundrie. Let's take some more hashtag Hey Justin as well. We're gonna a lot of comments and questions are in the queue here from when Josh Benson was on the stream. But you can use hashtag Hey Justin, hashtag Hey JB.
All J names here today, JB.
A lot of J's on the stream here today. Let's take this one from Brandy Gardner, hashtag Hey JB. When he is found, what will he be charged with, if
Great
anything?
question.
And
So
we have that.
So we know he's already a wanted fugitive for the bank account fraud. He is accused of unlawfully accessing about $1,000 from a bank account. I believe it's a Capital One account. So
Charges use of unauthorized access devices.
thank you, JB. You had the federal indictment ready to go. So to answer Brandy's question, he's already wanted on a federal warrant out of the District of Wyoming. So again, we've talked about going from a person of interest to an actual, wanted fugitive. So to answer your point, Brandy, he would be taken in on that charge, go through his initial appearance in the federal court system, and then it's the question as if any additional charges will be filed. But so far, we know, Brandy, he is wanted for that unlawful access of the bank account. And they were specific in the press release, JB, to say activities after the death of Gabby Petito. Those, I believe it's August 29th to September, or it's in that late August, early September timeframe is when he's accused of unlawfully using that bank account. Let's
also pass along here to our viewers, because we have some great viewers that join us here, everybody, on WFLA now. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, yes, is over the reserve, Myakkahatchee, Carlton Reserve. And so there is a chopper there over the air at Carlton Reserve. And there were search efforts there today, Justin. There were search efforts there today.
So they've scaled back, more targeted. They're trying, and we know we've talked about just the difficult terrain. I mean, that is a swampland. It's been a lot of rain down there in the Northport, Venice area. So there have been these more targeted search areas that our crews on the ground have been tracking in the last almost 2 weeks now since the Laundries reported their son missing.
Again, JB Buno, Justin Shecker here with you live on WFLA Now. Let's take some more questions and comments. Hey, Brandy, thanks a lot for yours. Let's see here. Let's talk about this. Ty Packard, hashtag KJB. Have you heard anything of them considering Egmont Key National Wildlife Preserve, 2.5 miles left of Fort DeSoto? If you had access to a boat, it seems easy to escape. I have some thoughts on this, but do you want to go first here, Justin?
I was actually on the beach there yesterday, and one of our assignment editors said, "Hey, can you see Egmont Key?" And I kind of turned to the south, and you could see it off in the distance, one of the kind of many smaller islands. So again, that is a good place to potentially look. There's no definitive tie to that island there, JB, but as you know, it's one of those kind of isolated kind of destination spots as part of this larger destination park in Pinellas.
Let's get to so let me point out something about Egmont Key. This is, again, there are times where we where I can just kind of give everybody my sort of take on something. I've been to Egmont Key many times with my family. Okay, Egmont Key is a beautiful, beautiful spot. There's some history there. There's of course the lighthouse that is there. It is a beautiful place. It attracts a lot of attention because of how beautiful and how historic it is. It's not an ideal spot if you're trying to vanish off the face of the earth.
Nope.
It is a spot where people come and go all the time. And while you could make the argument that there are, and I've walked the entire area, the entire island, that there are pretty much most of the entire island, that there are areas there where in theory you could hide. It's probably a great place for hide and seek. It's just not the most, just the amount of foot traffic there for being an island, it's pretty considerable. So it's not the most ideal place to go. And people here in the Tampa Bay area know that if you wanted to try to get away with something, I'm not talking about Brian Laundrie, I'm just talking in general. If you were trying to disappear, Egmont Key is not a place that you would go.
There's the ferry. I mean, it's a place people, you said you and your family have been there many times. There was presumably people out there yesterday when I was out on the beach on the other side. So it's not an ideal hiding spot.
Let's get to some more questions and comments with hashtag HJB, hashtag HJustin. Let's see here. Rayon Singleton, hashtag HJB, is the FBI had knowledge of Fort DeSoto. Okay, I'm sorry. If the FBI had the knowledge of Fort DeSoto, they would have been checking there instead of the wildlife reserve.
The only thing with this, a good point, is that this visit to Fort DeSoto, we have confirmed, did happen before the parents told police that they were at the other location, JB. So that is, why they focused where the parents said the last known spot they saw their son was the wildlife reserve down there. And again, the FBI is going to keep things tight to their vest, JB. They may know more than they've told us, and they may have known about this visit to the park before this became out yesterday.
Follow him on social media, folks. 8 on your sides. Justin Shecker needing to get going here. You'll see him tonight on WFLA News Channel 8. Thanks a lot, Justin. Appreciate it. Back here with you live on WFLA now. So why is it just me? Okay, so let's explain this. Our entire team, of course, is on the air right now with team coverage on WFLA News Channel 8. And of course, our broadcast product, our evening newscast. We're in our 4 o'clock newscast. We have a 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock newscasts, all coming up here on your NBC station, 8 on your side. We encourage you to watch. That's where you'll see faces like Josh and Justin and Nico and many of our other team members, Allison Henning, Walpito, Masa Saidi, all of them here. So right now, because this is why we stream earlier in the day, we usually stream somewhere around lunchtime. Reason being is because more of our anchors and our reporters and investigative journalists are available to come sit down and join us. And it's a great time of day to kind of just talk to you. Maybe you're sipping your afternoon coffee, or maybe you're chomping down on a sandwich during your lunch break. It's a good opportunity for us to talk to you there. We're clearly live a little bit later on today. Might have an opportunity here to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But it's just me now. So use hashtag HJB, and it's a lot to do here all by myself, but I'll do my very best here to continue the conversation and address a lot of the questions and comments. And none has come in more than this one here from Mariah Huffman, hashtag HJB. Can you please address these questions about Brian in North Carolina? I've heard questions and comments about Brian being with his grandfather. This is all unconfirmed at this time. There is nothing to go off of based on any, of course, credible source of information. We've been talking here on the stream too about how common it is for there to be misinformation online. Misinformation can pop up here and there all the time, and there are flare-ups of misinformation. It's almost like a volcano. Like there will just be occasional flare-ups. Not to discredit it. We've had flare-ups that have actually, there's been some substance there, but we have to vet all the information that comes in, check the sources, check the reliability of that information. We're journalists. We're not speculative, people here online just kind of talking about what information could be out there. No, we of course vet the information that comes in. And this is why I bring up Meg's comment here. You might have found me on Twitter earlier, Megs Marie, #KJB. Why post that there was huge news and then there's nothing new? I never said on Twitter today, never said that there was huge news. I said that we had a search update. And yes, I said that there was an update, and there was updates here as far as the search efforts that are ongoing here. I was looking forward to having a conversation here with you. But let me make this clear about this portion of it. Okay. I've received a lot of attention of late. And there are people that have been following me across social media platforms, following me on my WFLJB Instagram and Facebook and on Twitter, and I very much appreciate that. But I want you to look at the logo here in the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. This is not JB Now. This is not the JB Show. This isn't JB Live. This is WFLA Now. And we are a team here. We are a team, and it's a great team. We are an award-winning team here with your NBC station here in Tampa, Florida. And I appreciate all the attention that I have received here. But me going live here with you isn't just me flipping a switch and being live. There's a process here, and we have to vet information. And when it comes to information that comes into our newsroom, there is a process, and we'll just kind of paint this picture here for you. It's almost like there's 10 boxes that you have to check before you can report information. And we're not the type of news station to take shortcuts. And if there's 9 boxes checked and 1 unchecked, that we can just report that oh yeah, no, we're 90% verified. No. 100% verified. That's why people have been following us, is because we come to you with the information that we can confirm and can report. And we can talk about things like Mariah here coming up here on screen and saying, can you address the questions about Brian in North Carolina? And we can tell you right now that a lot of what we're seeing here from North Carolina and what we're seeing here about Brian Laundrie being with his grandfather and all of this social media activity, this is just right now the product of this story continuing to be so scorching hot on social media that anything that sounds believable, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, people assume that it is a duck. And while it very well might be a duck, let's all keep ourselves rooted in reality here, because I've had so many people over the course of the week message me with this claim and that claim, and then it's quickly disproven like an hour or so later. So I'm not discrediting anything about North Carolina. I'm not discrediting anything about Brian Laundrie's the rumor or the gossip that being with a grandfather. I'm not saying that that's not true. What I'm saying is that right now it's not coming from a credible source of information, and until it does, it's not something that we can really entertain. So we'll continue to, of course, report the information that is reportable information, because we have standards here, and it's important that we maintain our standards here. So earlier on, when we were about to go live on stream, and I put out a tweet on Twitter, and we were right there ready to go live with information and talk about a search update here. I got word, JB, it's we have to stand down. And I have to follow here, of course, the direction of our team here at WFLA. So it's very, very important that we remember that this isn't the JB show. It isn't JB just, comes on here and does his thing. It's WFLA Now. If it's being reported by WFLA, it's on WFLA Now. And that's the purpose here, and a little bit of the mission statement behind what we do. So thanks to all the comments, and I appreciate everybody that's been following me and looking to me on my social media accounts. I really appreciate it. But we're going to keep it real here with you, real as we can, and try to, of course, differentiate ourselves from what you're seeing gossip and speculation wise elsewhere on social media. Amber Morgan, #HJB. After he is caught, will he be watched so he doesn't run off again? He's absolutely going to be watched. In fact, he's going to be taken in on a federal arrest warrant. Okay, so what happens then? Okay, so if he's taken in on a federal arrest warrant, Brian Laundrie, then of course he can invoke his constitutional right to remain silent. They will present the evidence as to the charge, and then a judge will determine whether or not there's going to be bail and whether or not he can be free. And then the judge will, based on the circumstances of the charge against him, will determine whether or not he has to surrender his passport, and whether or not he can even bail out on that federal arrest warrant. But this is all things that we are going to. This is all, kind of the can down the road, so to speak. The first and foremost, has to be caught. And there's, this Fort DeSoto search that has been ongoing by an independent investigation. And now that the FBI has a surveillance video, there's momentum here. I'm really looking forward to this story reaching its conclusion. I'm ready to be here with you live when that happens. Believe me. These are long days, a lot of work around the clock. This has been all anybody is talking about. Anywhere I go, anywhere I am, any platform I'm on. We were on Tracking the Tropics earlier. Okay, we were on Tracking the Tropics. That is our Wednesday streaming franchise where we talk about hurricane season. And 90% of our comments were about Brian Laundrie on a show that's focused on the weather. So we are very much anticipating, and I can just say for me, I'm looking forward to this story reaching its conclusion, but we're not there yet. I hope that there's momentum. I hope that there's something right here on the right side of your screen. I hope that there's something here, but we just can't say for certain. But I promise you this. I'll continue to report with as much compassion and accuracy as I possibly can. And we're not going away on this story. We're going to stay here with you and continue to report every development. And I never said that we were going to be live every day at noon. We try to be live in the middle of the day to accommodate most of our audience, but it can be difficult some days based on the information that comes in. And we try to do our very best. So for everybody watching right now, thank you for being with us at a bit of an unorthodox time here. The time now, 4:19 Eastern. Let's take this next one here from, let's see here. Take this one from Cassie. #HeyJB. So the FBI is searching at Carlton Reserve, but not at the campground. So the FBI, we don't know if the FBI, let me make this clear. We don't know if the FBI is actively searching here. The FBI isn't going to walk around with a sign that says, "We're the FBI. How you doing today?" They don't have to be here in marked vehicles. They don't have to be here in uniform. They could be in this video searching and being very discreet about their search efforts. It's very possible. And the FBI, again, is not going to just advertise that they're searching this area. They go about their business based on federal protocol, and they have a way of doing things. And it's one of the things I can tell you about the way that they do things is not to just put it on blast for the entire world to know about. So the FBI could be here. And the FBI, I would imagine, has been here at some point in time, whether it's weeks ago or a week ago or now at this very moment. But we just don't know because that's the FBI and that's how they operate. And you want this to be like a TV show where the FBI is, you're in those meetings with the FBI and they have their big, whiteboard and they're going over all the leads and you want to be in that meeting. You want to be there. We've talked about, our commenters have brought up SVU, and we've talked about SVU. You want to be there with Benson and Stabler. You want to be in those meetings with Ice-T, and you want to be there with Munch. You want to be there with all of them. You want to be there in those meetings, but you're not, because this isn't a TV show. This is reality. And in reality, the FBI maintains a high level of secrecy as to the investigations that they conduct. And the reason is because they don't want to compromise their ongoing investigation. Who would? That would be really dumb. It would be very dumb. So the FBI is staying secretive. And are they here? Maybe, but we just don't know. We just don't know. Danielle Wenger, #HeyJB, wondering why the Laundrie's attorney stated the FBI was already aware of the camping trip from the 6th to the 7th. So why did it take for Dog to mention it to get surveillance? This is a question now. I'm glad that Danielle brought this up because let's again go through the timeline. Stephen Bertolino, the attorney for Brian Laundrie, has confirmed now to just about everybody, I mean, really the entire media sphere, he has confirmed that the Laundrie family went here, right side of your screen, Fort DeSoto, campsite 001 waterfront, the #1 waterfront site here, that campground, that they were there from the 6th to the 7th, as Danielle is saying here. And it was just yesterday, September 28th, and that is precisely 3 weeks later, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office sends the surveillance video from Fort DeSoto to the FBI. So here's what that means. That means that there's something there that's significant, or it's just a big fat nothing. something there or a big fat nothing. And we just don't know. We just don't know. But I'd be very curious. You're never going to see that video. It would be a massive leak to see that video. You're never going to see it because it was handed from county law enforcement directly to federal law enforcement. And that's pretty ironclad. It's not really just going to randomly appear on social media. That would be shocking. I mean, shocking. And somebody would have their entire law enforcement career on the line because that would have meant that the handoff of that video from Pinellas County law enforcement to federal law enforcement, there would have been a leak, and they would investigate that leak, and that person would undoubtedly have their law enforcement career pretty much to a fair degree of certainty over because of the sensitivity and of this situation that's ongoing here. I mean, that again, the FBI would view it as potentially compromising an ongoing investigation, an ongoing federal investigation, and they just wouldn't have any of it. So it would be an enormous no-no. I don't think we ever see that video. So to Danielle's question here, why did it take so long why did it take for Dog to mention it to get the surveillance? Well, it's now Dog the Bounty Hunter shedding light on it now makes this a thing. This surveillance video makes it a thing. So is it just the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office saying, get off our backs? We sent it to the FBI yesterday. Please leave us alone. Stop calling. We've got other crime and other responsibilities here in our jurisdiction. Or has it just been now exposed by Dog and his team, and now it's being escalated to the awareness of the FBI? I don't know. I do not know. Danielle, thanks for bringing up that question. It's not one that we can definitively answer, but it allows us to, again, just kind of talk about the process now. Danielle Marie Fee, #JB, need thermal imaging of the entire campground, then people on the ground to confirm campers. So let's FLIR, thermal imaging technology. I spoke to Josh Taylor of Northport Police. That is an active and thorough part of their investigation. Thermal imaging technology. But we don't know if thermal imaging technology has been used yet or even considered yet for Fort DeSoto. We know it's been used at Myakkahatchee. We know it's been used at Carlton Reserve. But is it being used here? We do not know. But I mean, look at that little island right there, right? That's really difficult. That one right there, that's really difficult to comb through, and that would be a rough life for somebody living there, like Brian Laundrie. That's not like that's not Cancun. That is just a wooded, wet, random tree island there off of Fort DeSoto, and you wouldn't exactly want to live in that spot. But wouldn't it be a lot easier to see from the air using thermal imaging? Absolutely. If we hear anything about that, we'll of course pass that along here to you. Allison Johnson, #HJB, why haven't the parents been charged at this point for withholding information? Two answers to this, Allison. First and foremost, we don't know that they're withholding information. We don't know. We don't know. From everything that we have been told, and it started with Josh Taylor of Northport Police, they are cooperating with Brian and it being a missing persons case, that they are cooperating with law enforcement. So why haven't the parents been charged? Well, right now they're cooperating in the missing persons case that is their son, and they have the right to remain silent. You can't charge them with anything unless you have direct evidence that they are assisting with Brian's disappearance, and even then it would have to be such tangible evidence that couldn't be. Now you can summon them in front of a grand jury and try to compel them to talk and reveal more, but right now they're cooperating with the investigation, and they have the right to look at the grand jury and say, we invoke our constitutional right to remain silent. So I know it's frustrating for people, but that's kind of where we are now in this investigation. Alistine Cleveland, #HeyJB. As the FBI mentioned, if they're looking for his body or they think he's still alive, the FBI isn't mentioning anything. If there's a theme here I want you to take out of this here, folks, the FBI doesn't talk. It's not their thing. They'll respond to comments, but it'll be, we can neither confirm nor deny. We have no comment at this time. This is an ongoing active investigation. There will be no further comment on this matter. I can read you every potential response to any inquiry that a station like ours would have. And I'm telling you that right now that the FBI just isn't going to release information with an ongoing federal investigation of this magnitude. Is he alive? Is he deceased? We just don't know. This is interesting. Yeah, Paul's passing this along. Paul just texted me. Look at that. So talking about how the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. Oh yeah, that's interesting. I want to show this to our viewers. This is from Paul Amison, who just did this. That's our Eagle 8 HD pilot. I don't know if I can bring him in. I can't. The picture of him. But our WFLA Now viewers know Paul. And I want to show this to you. I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to throw it here up on my camera. This is the chopper that is flying over Carlton Reserve at this time. The Myakkahatchee, the primary search area, where, of course, everyone was saying, oh, he's not there. But there is something very curious unfolding at Myakkahatchee at Carlton Reserve here, and I'm going to play this back here for you. This is from Paul Amison shooting me a screen recording of the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office chopper site. Now, I want you to watch here very, very closely here, and I'll try to do this here almost like mirrored. I'm going to play this here on my screen. Okay, look at this. Look at the flight pattern now. So the Sarasota County chopper took off and is really focused on that one spot. Look at that. That's a time lapse. And look, they went back and they circled over it again, and they went back and they went over it again. So they spent a lot of time over that one spot there. Oh, and then they went back, and now they're coming back here to that spot. So that is a target area right now for the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, assisting in the search by the FBI. But you saw there on the flight pattern, kind of the chopper went and ooh, and just kind of circled over that one spot many times. So what does that mean? We'll try to get an update. I've been talking about Eagle 8 HD's Paul Lamison here for you folks. He is, of course, our wonderful chief photographer here at WFLA, and he is the voice of Eagle 8 HD, our chopper here. That's what you're looking at here in the center of your screen. No one knows Tampa Bay from the air like Paul Lamison. No one knows. He knows Fort DeSoto so well. He knows Egmont Keys so well. He knows all these barrier islands incredibly well. This is a man who has snapped 4,000 images and posted them all to social media on the Eagle 8 HD social media accounts. He knows, he's been here for decades. He knows Tampa Bay like anyone, more than anyone from the air. And I say that because he is now going to join us and break down Fort DeSoto and show us campsite 001, show us the waterfront campsite here, and show you some specifics here that only Paul would really pick up on. Paul's just a precious resource for us here at WFLA because there are things that he sees from the air that others don't. So what we're going to do, this is a report that he filed earlier today. We're going to play this back here for you. In the meantime, as we're listening to Paul here, okay, I'm going to be looking through all the hashtag HeyJB comments here right now. This is if you want your comment to be featured here on screen, if you would like for us to talk about it and for us to feature it here on screen and get our audience here also involved in the conversation here as well. I want you to start using hashtag HeyJB right now so I can add many comments and questions to the queue here. And I'll start looking for them right now as we introduce Paul. So here's Paul Lamison, everybody, from Eagle 8 HD a short time ago, pointing out some of what we're seeing here from Eagle 8 HD.
Hey, JB. Yep, you're looking at Fort DeSoto, the campsites right here. They're right on this little kind of peninsula-style island almost. It is connected by this little piece of land right here. And we're going to come around, and I'll show you where campsite 1 is located. That's where the Laundries apparently stayed for a couple of days. We looked and saw the report. Now, when you enter in this main entrance, you're going to come in. This is where you check in this little structure right here. You check in. That's where you can get your supplies, do what you need, and that's where they would check in. You're going to then drive right up through here on this road where the empty road, not the one with the RV, but once you get to this section, campsite 1 is going to be over here on the water. Right up here, the tree, your bush you're looking at right in the front, And campsite 1 is the first one on this kind of sideways area that backs up to the water. I believe, from what we can tell by the map, right in these palm trees is campsite 1, and then it's numbered accordingly. So apparently in this part of the campground is campground number 1. It's, I believe it is the one not where the people are. It's empty right now. We're going to move over and you'll see it. And we believe that's campsite 1 from the map. And now this is a fairly big area, and the campsites aren't super luxurious. They're just places to pull up a camper, and you can kind of sit and camp and even put up a tent. And I'm looking at the map again now, JB. So campground 1 will be right in this area. That's not it. We believe it is this one right here. And I guess there is a picnic table in it. So it's right in this area is number 1. And then it borders all the way with the ones in this area. Now this is where they apparently stayed for a few days. And I'll move the camera back out wide and give you a wide shot of the whole campsite to show you it's not a very big campsite. And a couple things people were concerned about are the islands that are around here. This one's right off the front of the campsite. It's just a small tree-lined island. It's not really inhabitable, but you can get in there and work your way within the trees. Now I'll move the camera and show you there's quite a few around here. This is looking kind of off the campsite down towards St. Pete Beach. And you see all the little sites over here. This is actually the north beach of Fort DeSoto Park. And then it goes into, I believe this is Bird Key or Shell Key, one of the keys. And that's open on the side. That goes into the Gulf. And there are several little islands out here as well. People go on them, but there's really no paths or anything. You're really going underneath trees and stuff to get to it. And then if I move the camera over to here, you just see a bunch of little islands out here. And then it goes over, this is Passagrill Beach. And then St. Pete Beach is down here. There's the Don Cesar. But again, if I move the camera back, you see the entranceway into Fort DeSoto. When you come in through the park, you're going to come down this roadway, and that's where you're going to turn in to the boat ramp. The first thing you get to is the boat ramp. You go a little bit further, there's some parking areas, and then you go down a little further, and you're making your way down the main roadway, and you're going to go in through here is how you get over to the campsites. And again, wider shot, there's the island that the campsites are on, and campsite 1 is over in this general area right in here on the waterway. So there is a view of open waterway where campsite 1 is, and the campsites are back in the trees, but you do have access to the water, and it's right here where campsite 1 is, and that's where the Laundries were apparently staying. So again, I'm going to give you just a wide shot of the whole area of Fort DeSoto. You see, you can keep going all the way down and out to the beaches over on this side. The other side, the southern kind of side, faces over towards the Skyway Bridge. And so that's the area where we are. And again, you'll get a better look at campsite 1 once I zoom the camera in. And it's going to be right over in this area. And that's where the Laundrie stayed for the few days. And we do have the records to show that they checked in. And this would be the area they were camping. So there were people all around them. But again, at that point, Gabby wasn't even missing, according to the parents. They hadn't filed the missing persons report. He had just gotten back, Brian, from the trip. He came back in her van, and that's where they came up and went camping. So they were over in this area over in here. And I believe this is actually campsite 1. Back here, you see a grill, and that's really all you're going to see is an area for you to put your stuff and camp in this general area. So again, JB, there's campsite 1 right here. That's where the Laundrie stayed. It's right next to this bigger campsite over on the side, but they were right here on the open water. So again, that's really all we know. That's all that we can tell you, that they did stay here at Fort DeSoto at the campsites, and anything after that we really don't know. And again, the FBI conducting the investigation, and the FBI really close, they keep everything close to the vest. They don't report a lot of other things. So even though we found this out yesterday, the FBI could have known this from the very beginning and already been here. And that's why St. Pete, or not St. Pete, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office wasn't here investigating. So again, the FBI more than likely knew about this, more than likely was here, talked to people that may have stayed next. Okay, JB, apparently we broke up, so I will throw it back to you.
Eagle 8 HD's Paul Lamison for us, everybody. That was earlier on today, right here at Fort DeSoto in southern Pinellas County. Here, I'm reading through a lot of the hashtag HeyJB comments and questions that are coming in here. I got a lot to get through here in the queue over the last 5 minutes or so while we've been listening here to Paul. We've been listening to Paul. I've been able to kind of go through some of them and try to form a consensus. Well, just really a blanket statement here. The North Carolina grandfather's car, all of that, non-credible at this time. And as far as we understand it, we are, of course, aware of that activity on social media, but there is nothing at this time to suggest that that is a credible source of information. If that changes, we let you know about it here in WFLA Now. Let's get to some more of the comments and questions that are coming in here with hashtag HeyJB. And a lot are coming in, and a lot don't use the hashtag. So when I don't see the hashtag, that just signals to me that you just want to comment back and forth with your fellow commenters, and that you don't want to have your name and your comment kind of put up here on screen. And we get that. Not everybody wants to have their name and their comment up on screen. So we don't see the hashtag. We just kind of let your comment go on by. Let's see here. I'll take this one just right now from Katie because it's an easy one. And I just want to get it kind of out of the way. Hashtag HJB from Katie Nichols. If his parents bought a phone, why are they not being arrested for aiding and abetting? Because buying a phone isn't a crime. I just got a new phone recently. And it's not a crime to buy a phone. Now, of course, there's, you can, it's not a crime. It's not a crime to purchase a phone. So that's not evidence of aiding it. That would never stick in court. You have to remember, you file charges that stick in court. You can just file a charge just to file a charge. And even if you did file a charge of aiding and abetting,
to bring them in.
All right, guys. It seems like they're just kind of repeating the same questions over and over and over to me. What do you guys think? It seemed like just the same questions were just being repeated back to JB. Definitely seems like between the reserve, the Carlton Reserve, and the Soto camping area, that there's definitely some activity in them searching for him. Yeah, guys, eventually, if they don't find him, the parents are going to slip up. These people cannot honestly think that they are smarter than the FBI. Sorry. Yeah. Cuba is what I think too, Rose. It's the best option for no extradition, and it's 90 miles from the Florida Keys, from Key West, Florida. It is exactly 90 miles. Yes, if they froze the parents' assets, that would get them to talking. Mm-hmm. The quickest way. Can y'all hear me okay? Put a 1 if y'all can hear me. I'm not sure if my microphone's working. There it goes. The quickest way to get somebody to talk, freeze their money up, in my opinion. Freeze their money up. That will get them to talk. And thank you, guys. Yeah, I see it now. It was working. But in my opinion, the quickest way to get them to talk, freeze that money. They have no money. They have no way to do anything. They will start singing like a bird. Guys, if y'all haven't done so already, I ask that you kindly leave your DNA on the thumbs up, thumbs down. Doesn't really matter. It's interaction to me. And also, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on if you don't mind. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, Rose, I appreciate it. I got to go soon too, guys. It's church night, and my husband's a youth minister, so I got to go hang out with a bunch of kids and play basketball. But it's okay. I enjoy it. Play basketball, eat some supper with them, and learn about God. What a better way to spend your Wednesday night, huh? Thank you all so much for being here. Yes, keep those parents under surveillance from a distance and watch. I guarantee you, shut their money off, keep them under surveillance from a distance, watch and wait. They will start talking. Yes, Monkey. They Dog the Bounty Hunter is there at the DeSoto Resort, and with dogs and a helicopter, from my understanding. Also, they are doing some searches at the Carlton Reserve. Which way is best, you might ask, for him to be found? Well, if they find him at the Carlton Reserve, in my opinion, at this point, he's going to be dead. He's most likely going to be in the water with alligators. So, my hope at this point is that dog finds him. But, what do I know? All right, guys. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. Great talk, everybody. Great communication. I enjoy this. I enjoy when everyone talks. They get along. Nobody's arguing or anything. It's a great time, and I enjoy it. I look forward to this. Yeah, and it also means Irvin was right again. Irvin, if you were right, we're going to put it all over the wall of the chat. Irvin was right. Irvin was right. Irvin was right. All right, guys. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, everybody.